Okay, so I'm just going to record this on my screen recorder, like I said, and hopefully that'll help us to at least have this recorded for posterity. So hopefully we can keep this short and sweet today, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sure you guys have stuff to do too, and there's no reason to meet longer than we absolutely have to. Wish you all a upcoming happy Thanksgiving for those that celebrate, because I know we're only a little over a week away. It seems like a pretty late Thanksgiving this year, but it looks like it was kind of that way last year too. So I wanted to start off with just a opportunity to share. So if anybody wants to share either in the chat box or with a microphone any service hours that they've started organizing or started working on, it helps just to give everybody ideas for what maybe they can do. So if you have something to put in the chat box, feel free to do that. I did send out, go ahead and type as I'm talking, I did send out an email with regards to Feeding America. Did you guys all get that one in your inbox yesterday? Yeah. So that's not like a group service project at all, but it was just an email that I got from Feeding America that they're looking for additional volunteers next week, I think just to organize food for food pantries for Thanksgiving, because it's a huge day for them to be able to get enough food to deliver to different food pantries across the state of Wisconsin so that people can have Thanksgiving dinner, right? So it's kind of like an all call saying, hey, we need extra help this week because we have Thanksgiving next week and we want to make sure everybody gets their food on Thanksgiving. So if you're interested in that, that'd be on your own. You can go ahead and sign up for that with your parents or with friends. I think as long as you are over 16, you can go by yourself with a friend. You don't have to go with a parent. So most of you guys should be able to volunteer. There might be a permission slip that needs to be signed, but you could volunteer on your own. You don't have to have a parent present. Yes, thank you, Olivia. Mentions ringing the bells at the mall. So if you go on the Salvation Army's website, you can actually sign up for bell ringing. And from their website, let's see here. I know I've done this before. I haven't looked at this today. So let me put the link in the chat box. Okay. So you basically just put in your zip code, and then it will show areas where there's bell ringing and locations. And you can sign up for a shift. You don't need to be organizing with a store. You don't need to be organizing with with me or anything like that. You can literally sign up. You and your family can go and, sit in the entryway of Walgreens or whatever it is. There's many different locations. I just put my zip code in here and I got a whole bunch of different locations. Festival Foods, Fleet Farm, Hobby Lobby, JCPenney's, Macy's, the Northland Mall, Pick and Save, Piggly Wiggly, Sam's Club, Walgreens, Walmart, and Woodman's. And I could literally check all of these if I wanted to, and then search what options they have, like where. Oh, I gotta search a date too. Sorry. Yeah, and then you can. It'll tell you, where there's shifts available, what shifts you can sign up for, and you can literally just sign up right online. It's really cool. So a great way to earn service hours, kind of not, a non-threatening, non-scary thing in a way, because all you're doing is sitting there ringing a bell and, thanking people. Sometimes some people like to get, little miniature candy canes to hand out, or, some places people like to sit there with their family and sing Christmas carols. So there's really a kind of a cool thing to do to volunteer. I'm going to read through a few of these. So Olivia says She worked, excuse me, is it the March of Dimes, Olivia, that you worked with? Yes. So she did some stuff with the March of Dimes this year. And, there's a lot you could do with regards to that. I think you actually worked with an event, didn't you, Olivia? Very cool. So you could ask Olivia about the March of Dimes. She'd be willing to provide some information on that. You can sign up for a lot of these things. They do like charity walks and things of that nature too, which would be, considered volunteering. Audrey said she's been helping with the children's program at the library and helping out at a benefit. I plan on myself here getting my daughter involved with volunteering at the animal shelter because I know she's not much of a people person, but she loves animals. So it would be a great way to get her involved in some community service as well. So the March of Dimes walk is at the end of April, Olivia said. Okay, so just an update if anybody else has information they want to offer. If you don't know, if you haven't started looking, you really should start looking. And that's something that we'll get to on our agenda here with the one-on-one phone calls that maybe our president would help with some advising there as well. Questions? I see some people typing. I don't know if you're just offering up more of what you did. And that does happen, Kylie, but thank you for letting me know. So what $100 are we talking about, Audrey? We don't get enough $100 in donations? So Audrey's question was, what happens if we don't get... Oh, okay. So that's an individual goal that you can set for yourself. And it probably just defaults to $100. Okay? That's just your goal. It's like having a thermometer outside of like when we in our town raise money for the fireworks show every year, they have a thermometer showing what their goal is that they're raising, right? Nothing happens if you don't reach your goal. So that's just a goal, and you can change that amount if you want to. As a organization, our goal is $1,500. So that's our goal as an organization. I get an email every day. Let me see if I can get to it here. Hang on. I get an email every day that gives me kind of an update on how we're doing as a squad. So right now, we really haven't started very much. We only have $70 in donations that I can see online right now. So, we're kind of working on that. Hopefully you guys who gave me if you didn't give me your email addresses right now, you don't have a page. If you still want a page and you never gave me your email address, give it to me. Email it to me, your outside email address, and I will have them set you up with a page. So not everybody gave me their email addresses, but those that did have a link to their page. And our fundraiser officially started last week, Friday, the 15th of November. Coming up next week, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Saturday is what's called our first Flash 48. And the Flash 48 is, the goal is to raise like $50, I think, in 48 hours. And for every $50 you raise within 48 hours, you get a prize. I think it was a gift card to, or no, it was a Olive Garden certificate, right? Is that right, Nicholas? Pretty sure. Yep, I will send you an email with the link again, Ryan. Yes. Okay. Well, I will look into that for you, Kylie. You actually have donations on your page, Kylie. Do you? Oh, no. No, it wasn't you. I'm sorry. I'm mixing you up. So let me look at your link. Maybe I copied it wrong or something. Okay. Anybody else? For the Flash 48, yeah. So within the Flash 40, it's like within 48 hours. If you raise $50 in 48 hours, then you get a gift card to Olive Garden. If you raise $100 in 48 hours, you get 2 gift cards to Olive Garden. So it's like a free meal at Olive Garden. Anything else on that, Nicholas? I know that you did the Flash 48 last year. Is there anything I'm missing on that? Yeah, absolutely. If you all raise $50 in 48 hours, you all get a gift card. And you got one last year. I don't remember. Pierce, right? You got one last year. Like a gift certificate to Olive Garden. Pretty sure. Okay. Yes. So then, if we get to, gosh, if I remember correctly, our goal as an organization, then you all get Domino's gift cards for free pizza. And if we get to that goal, then the top 3 donators or people who donate also can get gift cards to Amazon. So there's a lot of incentive for you guys. Not to mention the incentive of just trying to raise money for a really worthy cause. So okay. So yes, thank you, Nicholas. That it's a good marketing tool to do the Flash 48 because it gives them. It's like, oh, we got to do it right now. So it helps them to do that. Otherwise, people forget. People get busy and they forget. All right. So if you haven't started, kind of promoting your Pennies for Patients page, try to do that. Send it out to your friends and family. You don't have to give much. A couple bucks, would be useful. If you can give it out to friends and family and everybody donates like $2 to $5, which isn't very much, you could easily raise a good amount of money to help donate to this worthwhile cause. Okay. Any other questions or any questions on the Pennies for Patients fundraiser? You guys have that through the 15th of March. So we have a fairly long time period for that, okay? And remember that you can think outside the box here too. So if you have ideas for individual things you'd like to do that aren't using the online tool, for example, again, we had our president from last year that did a bake sale and she was able to raise like $200 actually to donate to LLS through her bake sale. She didn't use the online fundraiser. That's fine. She did her own fundraiser at her own place. I think she did the bake sale through church and stuff like that and was able to donate money. Yeah, there you go. That's a great idea, McKenna. So think outside the box. If you can, maybe you can volunteer. You can volunteer your service, ladies and gents, in exchange, for money. So have people pay you, but then donate the proceeds. So you could go and clean out people's cars. I volunteer to clean your car if you give me $5, or outside of the car $5, inside of the car and outside the car $10, and then donate your proceeds. So that's your time that you're giving to LLS at that point. Okay, awesome, great job. Thanks, Chinita. That would be great. So again, think of services. What service could you provide in exchange for money? Could you shovel people's sidewalks during the winter time, and charge like $5 to shovel their sidewalks or $10 to shovel their driveway and then give the proceeds again to LLS? So you're working for free, but you're doing it as a service. The hours you can use towards your service hours, and the money can be used towards LLS as well. Now, if you get paid for it and you don't donate it, you can't count it as service hours. That's called a job. All right. Other ideas or thoughts or questions on the Pennies for Patients fundraiser? Okay, well, let Nicholas talk to us a little bit about what he came up with to raise money for the Pennies for Patients fundraiser. Nicholas, if you want to update us on the Mario Kart tournament, what's going on with that, and how that's going to be used to benefit LLS.
Yeah, so each year, WCA has had a field trip that's a Mario Kart tournament and Smash Brothers tournament. In the past, it's just been for fun, but this year I worked with Mr. McDonald to organize it to be a fundraiser for LLS. So for each player, we're having a suggested donation of $3 and $2 to have as a spectator. You aren't required to donate, but it is suggested since it's a fundraiser. And then there's also going to be a raffle opportunity, and I'm providing a gaming computer that is going to be raffled off, and you can enter by donating at least $5 to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and if you donate $20, you get 5 entries. So I'm hoping that that's going to be a good incentive for people to donate.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas. And if you do want to participate in that raffle, you do need to be present at the Mario Kart tournament to get the computer, right, Nicholas?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, that's okay. That's why I'm here. All right, thank you, Nicholas. So yeah, so that's a great idea. He's actually doing a raffle, raffling off something that he had, which was of value. So that's another idea, to think of. Maybe obviously not at the Mario Kart tournament, but you guys can do that kind of a thing if you do like an online sell something on eBay, if you're looking at raffling off some of your stuff, maybe even in using those funds towards Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So it's a very good way to think again outside the box for raising money for a very worthwhile cause. And like I said, last year at our school, we actually had one of our students who ended up with leukemia. Came to us actually because he had leukemia and was too sick to school. So this stuff hits pretty close to home. This is a very common childhood illness, leukemia is, and blood cancers are very common as well, which Leukemia and Lymphoma Society donates to. Questions on the Mario Kart tournament or anything else? So if you want to donate money to what do you mean? If you get cash donations, how do you get it to me? Is that what you're asking? Okay, so what I ask in that case is that you actually have like your mom or dad or something write a check for the amount of all the cash, and then have it, if you could make it out to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, that's the best, and then have it sent here to school. And then I would donate that to LLS on your behalf. It'd be, considered part of your donations. And then it all kind of gets sent together. I have like a form that I fill out at the end of the whole drive with all the donations and who had what donations. So would that work, Pierce or Parker or both of you, whoever's asking the question? Okay. That usually works the best. We don't like to try to send cash in the mail. It's probably not a good idea. Okay, other questions? Okay, so then Frankie has wanted to talk to you guys about how to better serve you and help you as the president. I know a lot of you still probably struggle with thinking about, how you can contribute to service projects or, how you can get the most out of National Honor Society. And so she has this idea of talking with you kind of on a one-on-one basis. So Frankie, did you want to talk a little bit to everyone about, what that would entail? Okay, let me go ahead and get the mic to you.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. So you might know by now that I'm all about us getting to know each other and being, real. We all are each other's best friends. So I thought it would be great if we could do one-on-one. Talk on the phone, just you and me. And yeah, I think that it would be great. We talk about our aspirations. I just get to know you a little bit more. You can maybe tell me how you're doing in school. Just talk about, go over our pillars for NHS. And if you're struggling with, finding places to do service around the community, just you can talk about your talents and things that you like to do, things that make you happy. Maybe you love music, maybe you like to be in hospital. And I'll take some notes and kind of help you come up with different ideas just to start you off. But otherwise, just have a nice talk and just chat about your life. And hopefully, I can make a positive impact on you somehow. But only if you're comfortable doing this. If you don't feel comfortable to make a direct phone call with me. But Nicholas, I think he's going to put a note to sign up. You just put your phone number next to the date that you'd like to talk. Yeah, I think this will be really great. We can just get to know each other more, and I think it's going to be really fun. I look forward to talking to you.
Thank you, Frankie. Yes, Nicholas already did put a link. Thank you. He has it on the chat box, but is it on our website too, Nicholas? Okay, so it's on the website under announcements on the homepage. There's a link to basically a Google form. And that Google form is just going to ask you if you want to, make that one-on-one phone call with Frankie. Basically, you're giving her your cell phone number at that time and permission to call you and just chat, get to know you a little bit better, find out if there's anything that she can do to help you as president. And as she said, to kind of explore your talents and your interests. And yeah, like a homecoming meeting, like a room call, but with the president of NHS. So if you all could go to that website, go to our website, and then just sign up for, your phone call with Frankie, that would be great. Questions on that at all? All right, thank you, Emily. That's great as well. I know Emily does a lot of volunteering in the hospitals, right, Emily? You do a lot of volunteering in the hospital? Yes. So if you're interested in, how to get involved with the hospital, to do volunteering, she'd be a great contact as well, because she had to kind of do that by herself last year, figure it all out on your own, didn't you, Emily? So, all right. So last item I have for business today deals with our actual group trips to Feeding America. So last year we did a trip to Feeding America Appleton and then one to Feeding America Milwaukee. And we were able to help, as a group, organize the food that is then distributed. Basically, Feeding America is a huge warehouse, and they get a lot of donations from grocery stores and restaurants and usually large donations like that. And they organize and sort all of the food that's brought in, and they get rid of the stuff that's yucky, and they keep the stuff that's good, and they sort it out, and it gets sent to food pantries, and food pantries distribute it directly to people. So Feeding America doesn't distribute directly to people, but they hold all of the large donations. It's kind of a nice way in which that distribution process works. So you guys, last year, it depends on, what day and what they have going on as far as what we do. We've done so many different things over the past few years. One year we organized canned goods without labels, and we had to put labels on them and, put them in separate boxes according to what the identification was, and then throw out the cans that were too badly damaged to be used. One year we went through like a donation of like onions and potatoes, and we bagged those and sorted those. Last year we were in Appleton, we were in the cold room, and we actually sorted through meat that came in. I think, Olivia, were you there for that? Yes, that's right. Her mom don't like meat. So it was quite the phobia kind of therapy for Olivia's mom, who does not like raw meat at all. And there was some spoiled raw meat and stuff we had to sort through and throw out the gross stuff and keep the stuff that was good. And it was all like in this refrigerated cold room, so we're wearing like white lab coats and gloves, and she did a great job. She was a trooper. So anyways, the dates that we did last year, we did one towards the end of January and towards the beginning of February because it was after semester exams, but before the semester kind of got into full swing, and you're kind of in that lull period between, winter break and spring break, so there's not as much stuff going on. Do you guys think that those time frame would still work pretty well? Do you want to still aim for kind of that early winter or midwinter kind of time? Yeah, Jake, you were, or Brian, you were down in Milwaukee with us last year, actually. I think Jake, were you there in Appleton last year? I think so. If not last year, you'd been in yeah, okay. Now, what we didn't do last year, because we had a snow day and it didn't work out, is we actually have a Feeding America. Oh, is it Milwaukee? Okay. Feeding America does not have a location in the western part of the state. They only have the eastern part of the state. Western part of the state is something called Feed My People. And Feed My People does very similar thing to Feeding America. They kind of are almost like they're not related, but they do this, they offer the same service. Would anybody is there anybody from the western part of the state that would attend if we set up something like I think it's in Eau Claire, Feed My People. Let me look that up. I always get those, my geography is so terrible, guys. I can't remember if it's Eau Claire or La Crosse. Okay, let me just look here. It is in Eau Claire, yes. So would that be of interest? Because I won't even set it up if nobody's going to be able to go because it's not near anybody. But last year, there were people that lived over there, so we wanted to make sure that we were all inclusive. Okay. Okay, if you're interested in going, and you have conflicts, like certain days don't work for you, do you know what I mean? If you're like, I want to do this, but I can never go on a Wednesday or I can never go on a Thursday, can you let me know? Can you email me so that I don't schedule it during one of those times? This would be considered a group service project. So if you don't see yourself participating in the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society fundraiser, if that's something that you probably won't do, then you need to do a Feeding America one because it would be the same. You can do both, of course. You get service hours for both, but by the charter, you're actually required to go to one service project. I haven't heard anything about Eau Claire, so it's going to be a no on the Eau Claire this year, which is fine. Okay. We can just do that too. I've worked with Feeding America. I've never worked with Feed My People, but they seemed pretty nice too, so when I scheduled the trip last year. Unfortunately, we had a lot of snow days last year, so that was one of them. All right. Now, does anybody else have items that they'd like to bring to the table today? Any new business or that wasn't on our agenda? Pearson Parker, I see you typing. Do you have questions on something, or is that just a glitchy thing where you started typing something and nothing's happening? Okay. Well, I never know. Sometimes I'm like waiting, like, oh, they're typing something. I don't want to be rude. All right. So if nobody else has questions, no other concerns at this time, I move that we adjourn. And we will meet again in December. Looking at the schedule. I think. Let me double check my calendar real quick here. Yeah, December 18th, my birthday. We'll be meeting again on Mrs. Peachy's birthday on December 18th. That's our next meeting. So, yes. Right. Yes, and then in January, just so you know, we're actually, oh, great, we are birthday sisters. In January, we're actually going to be meeting a week later than we normally would, the 4th week, because of final exams. We're not going to meet during finals. Okay? All right, well, thank you all for coming in. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Oh, very good. Well, happy late birthday, Kylie. Bye, everybody.